Alright, we are back for episode 4.
The Grind Chronicles.
The Grind Chronicles.
Well, let's look at the team real quick.
Let's take a look. Alright, we need to go heal before I get into the next fight.
Yeah, I mean,
But I want to get Octavio to where he can learn Gust.
at 9.
Yep.
So we have Octavio at 9, Wet Boy at 9.
Yep, and then we're going to go fight
fight.
Or not Nutsack, but Asshat.
Asshat.
No, it's Asshat.
Asshat. And then we'll get both those guys to 9, and
Yep.
then as we're going through the forest and fighting all the bug trainers, we can then pick up, like, a few of the other guys here and there, get him up a little bit.
And now that we have this Pidgey, now that we've got Octavio, once he learns Gust, he's gonna sweep the forest for us. Like, I'm not gonna use anyone else in that forest just because Poison's a big old bitch.
And then run if you see a Pikachu.
Yeah, if we see a Pikachu, we're gonna dip out. Because they start knowing Thundershock.
Yep. Their baby move.
Yep. Like, look at these trees for just a second. Doesn't, like, the top of the tree, if you look at it, doesn't that look like a snake? Like, the face of it? You got the two little dots for the eyes and then little fangs coming down?
No. Like, I see... Like, it looks like a little face in the top.
It looks like a little snake face.
But the way this game is, and that's all, like, set up, I mean, you have two bald spots in the back of your head.
I mean, that's kind of true in real life. At least for me.
Well, I mean, I have a luscious head of hair.
I hate you so much.
And, like, it's just like two perfectly square spots in the back of your head when you're in your sprite form. That are just, there's no explanation for it. Like, turn around and walk out.
Yep, you're right. I mean, maybe Zahn got a real bad haircut right before he started his adventure. And he's a very, very polite young man, didn't want to say anything because maybe that hairdresser was having just an off day.
It was probably a Pokemon.
It was probably a Pokemon.
Fucking Scyther.
I mean, if we're doing the Pokemon rendition of Sweeney Todd, then yeah, Scyther as a barber, for sure.
I mean, if I had a Scyther, I needed to trim, I'd let Scyther trim me up. I mean, because basically he's my buddy. I caught him. He has to like me, right?
I mean, technically, we're getting close to that level 9. Ooh, that's scary. But I also don't want to turn this into let's overlevel everything to the point where there's no challenge. We'll stay at an appropriate level. Like, I don't want to outpace everything by leaps and bounds. It's just in this early game, you kind of have to.
Yeah, in the early game you need to do a little grinding here and there.
Yeah.
I mean, later on, if it comes down to the point where we need to grind a bunch before a gym, we can throw something out.
Octavio!
I only did 4.
I only did 4.
But that might have been a low row, too.
It could have been. We'll see. So that was actually a higher or a middle roll, because that time it only did 3.
Yeah.
Alright. We're going to go visit the Pokemon Center one more time.
And then we should be able to hit level 9, learn Gust.
Yep, and then go beat up Asshat.
I was really hoping for a Beedrill in this game because...
I mean, there's still other Weedles out there.
Yeah, right next to the Mega Bridge there's a chance to get a Weedle. But
yeah.
if we can get a Beedrill, I want to level them up to the point because for your rival's Alakazam.
Oh yeah.
And Sabrina's Alakazam.
Oh yeah.
Twin Needle wrecks them.
Yup.
And Ghost Pokemon in this game am I like.
Well, there's no straight up ghosts. They're all ghost poison.
And there's Ghastly and Haunter.
Yup.
And we can't get a Gengar.
Nope.
Because we can't trade.
Nope.
But to be fair, I like Haunter anyway.
Haunter's not bad.
Because I think they messed up on the evolutionary line with that.
So what's your thought in the theory that Gengar is supposed to be the vengeful spirit of a dead Clefable?
See, that wouldn't it makes some sense because like their sprites are very very similar.
Yeah.
But if that was the case, then you wouldn't have Ghastlies and Haunters unless it went to the point where it was like after that certain Pokemon died, it came back as a base spirit, and as it grew stronger, it was able to try to go back to its main form.
Hey, level 9. But that makes sense. And Gust. Alright. We're going to visit the Pokemon Center, and then we're going to take on our rival.
Yes. We're going to beat the rival.
First thing I'm going to do, before I forget,
is put the boy back up front.
Yup.
Our sweet wet child.
Yup. Now we're probably going to have to grind him up just a smidgen before we fight Brock.
I mean, as far as the Brock fight goes...
We can get him up to like 14 or so, and then he'll be fine.
The first trainer...
Has a Sandshrew.
Bubbles going to wreck him.
Yeah, Bubbles going to destroy
him. He's going to give decent
him.
experience.
Yeah.
Now with Brock himself, starts with Geodude. He's basically going to be setting up a bunch of defensive moves.
But it doesn't matter because Water is special. Because he's our special boy.
And then once, like, I think, if we're trying to, because I think his ace is Onyx at 14.
Yep.
So I don't want to be over 14. I say we try to go in at 12.
Okay. I'm cool with that.
So that way we're...
Like going into the gym at 12 or going to Brock at 12?
Going to Brock at 12. Because,
okay.
We could honestly say, hey, we're going to do all the grinding off stream and go into Brock at level 20. Yeah. Like you have to do with
a Charmander.
With a Charmander. You have to get him to level 13 so he knows Metal Claw. And then at that point, you might as well hit him a couple more levels.
Because Rock Tomb is terrifying.
To get him up to... So he's a second stage, gets that little boost of boost of defense.
Bubble or Sand Attack.
I hate accuracy moves.
That's why they're banned in competitive play. Oh, this is gonna suck.
Try Tackle because it may have more. It may be more of a special offensive Pidgey.
Maybe
a little bit of damage you're doing.
It's about the same either way.
Yeah.
There we go. And I'm not changing it to set because that just makes it too hard. Oh, come on.
You can.
There we go.
One more tap you could have taken.
Yep. Boom,
there's
level 10.
Let's check his level 10 stats.
Special defense 2, HP 2.
Everything else 1.
God, that special D, man.
Yeah, I love that HP and that special defense.
Yarp.
The Squirtle's main problem is going because I don't think there's any physical electric moves.
Not in this gen.
But there are physical grass moves, so we're not going to throw him out against the grass anyway.
Oh God, no.
We have fucking Pidgey for.
Yeah, that's why we got Octavio.
Now, are we going to see a Pidgeot in this, or
I'm hoping.
Is he going to be a dead boy?
I'm hoping we get him up to a Pidgeot.
We must be speed tied because.
Oh, that's beautiful. That's what I was wanting. Girl.
Yeah, we're speed tied.
Yep. Bye-bye, Bulbasaur. Didn't even give his Pokemon a nickname. What a scrub. Oh, almost a whole level.
Yeah, he's not brave enough to do a Nuzlocke roll.
Nah. He pulls his Pokemon back when they faint. When ours faint, we just use them as a club to keep beating our way to victory.
As I say, the trail of victory is built on the bodies of our fallen comrades.
Yeah, because if they're not strong enough, then they gotta go. Alright, so that's done. Let's heal up. And then we're going to hit the forest. I'm going to go ahead and put our special bird up front.
Because, to be completely fair, you could probably go ahead and box Caterpie.
No, I want to level him up. Like, I want to work with that. We'll work with what we got. And, let's be honest, though. At Brock, Wet Boy is just going to sweep the whole damn thing.
I have ran with a Butterfree a few times into Brock, and,
Well, Rock's super effective against Flying and Bug. So that would be a real bad idea.
It was like the only choice I had. My other Pokemon was a Charmander who had just, been Rock Tomb to death.
Yeah, it happens.
So I figured it was a lost run, so I'm like, hell with it. Come on, Butterfree. I think his name was Paul.
Did you use Confusion?
I used, I used String Shot a lot.
Lowered him speeds.
Lowered the speeds. And then, for some reason...
Poison Powder!
For some reason, he kept using Harden, I believe, or...
Probably Defense Curl.
That's Geodude.
Yeah.
But I think there's a Pokeball to the side.
To the left?
Top. Yeah. And then if you go straight up, and then it's over that little corner in the dead end.
Yep. What up?
Pikachu.
Another Caterpie.
Now, see, Caterpies, I don't care to fight. I mean, they're pain in the ass because if they're a little faster than you and the lower level Pokemon, they're going to string shot, and then you just beat them to death. But the Weedles, that's the problem.
Yeah, the poison is pretty scary.
I have the worst luck with Poison Sting.
Yeah, I always get poisoned.
I could sit there and Poison Sting somebody to death and they won't get poisoned. And then I get it one time with it and I'm done.
This is the first time I've literally ever ran into a Pikachu in Viridian Forest.
A couple times I've...
Oh no! It's faster! Oh boy.
We got this.
Oh boy.
Yeah, I only did 11 damage.
Oh, thank God.
That was scary. But sometimes I run into Pikachu as my first encounter in here.
That's the only time I've ever seen one in here.
And the funny thing is, if you catch a Pikachu in the forest and you put him up front, you run into more Pikachus.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
I don't know what the cause of it is, but it's just something that I've noticed that once you catch one, you just see a bunch of them.
Is it like when you buy a red car and then all of a sudden you see red cars everywhere on the road?
Yeah, like he's like, oh man, I'm gonna buy this purple Jeep because I'll never see a purple Jeep anywhere.
And then you just see them everywhere.
And then after you buy it, like there's 12 parked in the same grocery store in the same line. You're like, oh, fuck.
Oh fuck! Why'd I do that?
You don't really get too much from the stage 1.
Yeah, that's
guys.
true.
Pokeball over there.
Yep.
It's gonna be a Paralyze Heal, maybe.
Nope, it's a potion.
Hope it's
A Weedle.
well, I mean, you can hit up the guys who should die.
Yeah, well, yeah.
But my favorite ever encounter for a Weedle, I caught him on Route 2.
Mm-hmm.
I walked up. It was I was playing Leaf Green, just like testing out like the Nuzlocke's different routes, seeing what the best way to go through and do it is. I got a Weedle. I'm like, a cool Weedle. And
Our first trainer battle.
as luck would have it, he was an adamant Weedle.
I don't know what that means.
Boost attack, lower defense.
Okay.
Or boost attack, lower special attack.
Okay.
And I got him Twin Needle, and every time I bought so many of those proteins that boost the attack, and drug that little boy all the way up. It was the buffest bee.
The buffest bee.
Yeah.
It was Buff Drill.
And I mean, I named him BDB.
Big Dick B.
For Big Dick B, yeah. And I mean, like I cleared out the entire Psychic Gym
Yeah.
with just Beetle.
Yeah, I think it's a really neat thing that all of the weaknesses for psychic Pokemon
Or Fierce.
Yeah.
Dark,
Like
Ghost, and
bugs.
Bug.
Yeah.
No, in this game, I'm trying to think of a Dark type in.
There's no dark type Pokemon in this game.
Well, I mean, whereas the Gen 3 game, they have Pokemon from.
Well, I mean,
you can catch a Sneasel. I think it's Dark Ice.
But it's one of those weird things where it's like, oh, show up on this island every other Wednesday.
Yeah, I mean, back when I think it was Fire Red, Leaf Green. I actually had the game and went to I think it was an FYE or
Probably GameStop.
EB Games is what it was.
Oh, yeah.
I went to an EB Games and connected to their internet for the Mew event, so I could go to the island to catch the actual Mew that listens to you.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd already figured. I don't know how my buddies figured this out in school. Like I think one of their older brothers showed them.
Either that or they found it on the same website that we all found the code that said if you hold down and B when you're catching a Pokemon, it's guaranteed.
But like
even though it 100% wasn't.
But this is one of those things like, you know, in our schools and stuff like that, we had to do that accelerated reader crap. And for the kids who were good, like me, who would go get the biggest book there and get all my points immediately, could do whatever they wanted in that third block class. So we would bang our Pokemon games, and then I threw out my Mew.
Speaking of Pokemon in school, did your school ban Pokemon cards?
Yes.
Ours did too, because I can't remember the kid's name, but I remember the event that triggered it. Basically, like, everybody was trading, having a good time, playing Pokemon, and this kid ended up trading, like, a really rare, nice card for, like, a little rink-a-dink, nobody cares card. And he immediately regretted the trade.
And wanted it back.
And, like, we were all, like, 8 or 9 years old. There's no backsies. Come on, man.
Yeah,
you know the deal.
That's the rule.
And he went and cried to the teachers, and finally the teachers were like, that's it. We are sick and tired of this crap. No more. Don't bring him to school no more. If we see him, they're ours.
Yeah.
And as a kid, I was like, oh, that's really scary that they can do that. As an adult and someone with a child, if a teacher took something from my kid and just decided to keep it, we're going to have a problem. Yeah. Now, I don't mind them taking something away
during class,
or just, and then taking it and getting a hold of me, being like, hey, I took this from your child. If you want it back, you need to come pick it up.
Yeah.
That's fine.
And you're like, yeah, sure, I'll come pick. Like, I'm picking them up today for school anyway. I'll grab it from.
Yeah, I'll grab it from your office, and then I'm gonna get them in trouble because they should know better. I'm also gonna go ahead and heal up Pidgey, just because seeing the low health makes me real nervous.
He's only missing like 16.
I don't care. I am bad luck with birds.
Bad luck with birds. But with our school, I wish it was something like that. Someone went and cried to a teacher because of it. Thing.
I mean, did someone shank a kid over some Pokemon cards?
No, but it was probably one of the most brutal fights I've seen in my young life. Because I remember it was like I got my first ever Pokemon card at school.
Right.
Me too. A good buddy of mine gave me one. He's like, "Hey, do you collect Pokemon cards?" I go, "Man, no."
I can still remember my first card. It was a Machop.
I can remember my first card too. It was a Diglett.
Okay.
And my buddy's like, "Hey, man, I have a couple extra of these. Do you want me to get you started in your collection?" I go, "Yeah, cool. If you want to give me one," so he gave me a Diglett.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, sweet, Diglett. And then I went out and with my mom and at the time and had all my chores done for the week, so I was allowed to buy things and that I wanted to buy. So we were at a I guess the weirdest place to buy Pokemon cards. It was during when Jungle was the set out. The Jungle set.
I don't know the different sets.
Oh, it's like one of the first sets. Like it was the Jungle set. And we went to it was like a sports store. To buy my sister some running shoes. She was in track.
Well, I mean, if you remember back during the Pokemon craze of the mid to late 90s, you couldn't go anywhere without seeing some Pokemon cards or something on the shelf.
And yeah, but with that, like I was there and Mom was like, well, do you want anything from here? I go, well, not really. I can't see anything that I can't see anything I really want. Then we got up to the counter. She's paying for it. I look and they had a whole box of like little Pokemon cards. All Jungle set. And I said, hey, Mom, can I buy some Pokemon cards? And she's like, well, how much are they? And the guy's like, oh, they're like $3 a pack.
The first taste's free.
Yeah, I wish. But my Diglett was free.
Exactly. The first taste was free.
I had that Diglett forever.
Did you ever play in any kind of competitive sense?
Yes.
I did too. There was a card shop in a neighboring town where I grew up. It was called Shane's Card Shop. It's not even there anymore. But I remember every Saturday morning I would have, like, my mom just drop me off in this town where none of us lived or knew anybody, and I would hang out at a card shop unsupervised around, like, 10 or 11 years old for, like, 4 or 5 hours a day, or every weekend. And I'll remember, like, I would take the money that I had saved up that week and buy the newest booster packs, because this was around the time that Gen 2 was real big.
Yeah.
And I'll never forget, and I haven't felt this level of excitement until my child was born. But I pulled a Lugia out of a booster pack. Oh. And I lost my 10-year-old mind in this card shop.
Your little boy heart couldn't take it.
It couldn't. And I immediately, like, went back home and I'm like, alright, I'm taking all of my Pokemon cards and I'm building my deck around this Lugia. And I did.
Yeah.
But, like, they had this really cool program at the shop where you would compete. Like, you would show up and you would get a little stamp in this book.
Yeah, like your little, like it was like your trainer ID.
Yeah.
Every time you'd beat a certain amount of people,
they would give you another stamp.
You'd get a little badge stamp.
They did, and well, we had actual badges. They had like actual little like enamel badges that they would give you. They had
those for us too, but you had to have already completed your book.
Yeah. Once you completed the book, you got a badge. And like, there were a few kids there that had like 3 or 4 badges, but nobody had really more than that.
And with that, like I was saying earlier, like we had a card shop back right in the town I live now.
Right.
Or like it was way back in the day. It was called River City Games.
Like River City Ransom.
Yeah, and it was like a little hole-in-the-wall place. A bunch of my friend's mom would drive us up and just drop us off there, and she would go do whatever she wanted.
Yeah.
All right. So she would be gone all day. And we'd be there and we'd be playing Pokemon and like doing gym battles and stuff like that. And what the thing was, there was actually 4 dudes there that the actual card shop guy worked with,
Mm-hmm.
who were employees who had really good decks, and they were like the Elite Four,
Right.
at the place. So I'm like, oh wow, that's really cool. So I went through, and you had to beat 2 different people, and you go up and say, hey, I won 2-0 against this guy, and they go, okay, and then the other guy like, yeah, he beat me 2-0. You get a stamp. You get they had the different stamps for the bowler badge, the Cascade badge.
Yeah,
they had all the badges. Well, once you beat you beat 8 trainers, and could actually go through and play it and have a good fucking time. You would win packs.
Yeah.
So after you got all 8 badges, that got you 3 packs. And then once you beat one of the Elite Four guys that they had there, you would get 2 packs for each person you beat.
Okay.
The deck I had was this rinky-dink, crappy electric deck.
Mm-hmm.
That was just stupid. I don't know how it won. I don't know anything like that, right? So I had all my packs. Me and my buddies were all sitting around, and when I was going through and first pack, right, ripping through it, going through like looking like crazy, I got a Jolteon.
Nice.
It was like first edition jungle set Jolteon.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, awesome. Then next pack, Vaporeon.
Right.
Pack after that, Flareon.
God.
And I'm like,
So you just had like a full-on evolution deck.
yeah. The next pack I opened had a Cypher in it.
Okay.
So I'm like, man, this is like really good. So then I'm like, I want to build an evolution deck because I love the thing. So I went through and I traded in some of the other junk that I had there for 2 more of each of the 3 evolutions. And I got an Eevee or 2. So I had 3 Eevees. I had 3 Eevees, 3 Jolteons, 3 Vaporeons, and Flareon, so that way I had more of a chance of drawing them into my deck.
Right. Because, yeah, that was the max, like, as per the rules. And it seems like most card games have kind of followed suit, but typically you're not allowed to have more than 3...
Or 4.
Or 4. Most of the time it's 3 of each kind of card, with the exception of, like, mana or energy or whatever your game uses
and
for
like,
that.
I had all these trainer cards, like search for this, do that, evolution, de-evolution sprays, all that stuff.
I remember as well. I ended up getting. Well, I've got an uncle who was in the military for years. I mean, long enough to retire from them. And he was over in Japan or Hawaii a little bit, and they ended up sending me like a few packs of Japanese Pokemon cards. And I thought those were just the cool. Like, I didn't know what they said.
They look fake.
They looked fake. The actual the back art looked weird.
I love the back art on the
so
Japanese,
good.
the pocket monsters instead of the Pokemon ball thing. But like what you said when you pulled that Lugia and your little mind exploded.
Yep.
I can't remember what set I pulled that at. Rocket. It was the Rocket set.
Okay.
I went there.
That was such a good set.
It was amazing.
I just remember the art from that.
I had enough money to buy 1 pack of cards. They weren't doing any events that day, so we went there and I bought 1 pack of cards. And my buddies they put the box out in front of me and they go, pick whatever pack you want. So I'm like, okay, and I'll duck through, pull the pack out. I go, I want this when it feels right. Gave them the money, went and sat down, and they're all sitting there like, oh, what'd you get? And I'm opening the pack, and I can't remember the trick anymore. I think it's like 2 to the front, or...
I have no idea. I don't even know what you're talking about.
Well, what it is the way they have it set up is like you have like your normal base cards, then you in the back you have like like your rare card is like 3rd or 4th from the bottom.
Okay,
so you pull off and they taught us the trick at the card shop so you could slow roll to the good card.
Right.
So I pulled off the cards, put them in the front. And I'm like, okay, it's pretty good. Got a couple good rocket like cards, and then I'm done on my last card right before the rare, and I'm like, okay, what's it gonna be? Dark Charizard.
Oh man!
Like
shit all in your pants.
I think I squealed with absolute glee. And like my buddy, like everybody at the shop was like, "Hey man, I'll buy it off you right now. I'll trade you for it." And I'm like, "No, dude, I have a was a deck I was working on when I was young. I loved building decks on Pokemon.
You still love deck building, honestly.
I really do. Like it's probably one of my favorite things to do.
But I hate to cut you off so short here.
We had
but
wrap it up.
We do need to wrap it up for this one. This has been an adventure. We made it through the Viridian Forest with minimal, and by minimal, I mean no casualties. Those bugs didn't stand a chance against Octavio. We're going to grind up a little bit more next time, and then we're going to take on Brock. And then we'll head on to Mount Moon, and we'll continue our adventure next time here with the Tryhard Force. We'll see you guys later.
Stay frosty.
Stay frosty.
I say it all the time.
No, I've literally never heard you say that.
I say it to Blake and Brittany constantly.